Hi, welcome to this course on high availability for Oracle databases on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. My name is Bal Sharma. I'm part of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Product Management team. Before I proceed further, this is our safe harbor statement. I will take a pause here so that you can read through this. So the objectives for this particular module is to describe the options of database high availability, which is available with Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. We will also discuss about various features of Active Data Guard, as well as we'll see network preparation for Data Guard setup. We'll see demos on how to launch a Data Guard for database cloud service virtual machines, as well as bare metal, and different activities such as switchover, failover, and reinstate in Data Guard setup. We'll see how to delete a standby database, and we will also cover autonomous database ATP ADW cloning, and it will be followed with demo slides as well. So to begin with, in part 1, we will cover Data Guard and Active Data Guard options, which are available on a virtual machine as well as bare metal databases. The same option is also available on Exadata Cloud Service, so the steps are similar to that of a dedicated bare metal database deployment. So Data Guard and Active Data Guard provide basically disaster recovery for databases with recovery time objectives which cannot be met by restoring from backups. So Active Data Guard extends Data Guard capability, and they provide advanced feature for data protection as well as availability. And one of the main advantage of using Active Data Guard is you can open up your standby database in read-only mode, so that you can offload all the read-only workload to that environment. The additional benefits of using Active Data Guard is like you can do fast incremental backups from a production database. And another thing to keep in mind is Active Data Guard is included with the Extreme Performance Edition as well as Exadata Service. So high performance, the other options such as just Enterprise Edition and High Performance option, they don't have Active Data Guard option. So once the Data Guard is instantiated, it basically maintains the synchronization between your primary database and the standby database. And to configure a Data Guard system across regions or between on-prem as well as Oracle Cloud Infrastructure database system, you must access the database host directly, and you will have to depend on kind of manual setup, or through Enterprise Manager you can do that, but it's not something which can be done from the OCI console at the moment. So Oracle recommends that DB system of the standby database should be placed in a different availability domain, so that way you are able to maintain the high availability aspect also. So a standby database in Oracle Cloud Infrastructure databases are always physical standbys, so no logical standby or maybe a snapshot standby. So it's always physical standby database. A physical standby database can be definitely converted to a snapshot standby in case if you want to perform certain kind of testing. So currently 3 major operations are supported on OCI DBAS VM. So one is setting up a Data Guard, switchover activity, failover, as well as reinstate, as well as finally if you want to drop them, you have delete standby database activities. So few of these like switchover activity is a kind of reversal of the database roles between primary and standby. So each database continues to participate in the Data Guard association in its new role, and switchover ensures no data loss. So you can use a switchover before you perform planned maintenance on the primary databases. So that's the function of switchover activity. The other activity what is supported is failover. So failover is a transition the standby database into primary role after the existing primary database fails or becomes unreachable. So failover has to be done very carefully because it might result in some data loss when you use maximum performance protection mode. And reinstate is a database operation where database into a standby role in a Data Guard association. So you can use the reinstate command to basically return a failed database into service after correcting the cause of failure. So it is done after a failover kind of activity. So you cannot terminate a primary database that has a data guard association with a peer or a standby database. So if you want to delete the standby database, first standby database has to be deleted. Alternatively, you can perform a switch over to the standby database and then terminate the primary database if you want to do that. So you cannot terminate a DB system that includes data guard enabled databases, and to remove the data guard association for a bare metal DB system, terminate the standby database first. For a virtual machine DB system database, terminate the standby DB system. So that's a few of the point you have to take care when deleting. So coming to DataGuard on database cloud service prerequisites. So DataGuard implementation requires two database systems. So one contains the primary database and the other containing the standby database. So when you enable DataGuard for a virtual machine DB system, what it does is a new database system with a standby database is created as well as associated with the primary database. But for a bare metal DB system, the DB system with the database to be used as a standby, they must already exist before you enable the data guard. It means like you need to create a database in the required availability domain and subnet before you attempt a DG association for bare metal database systems. So a data guard configuration on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure is limited to one standby database per primary database. So both DB system must be in the same compartment and they must be of the same shape. So that's another limitation. The database version and edition must be identical. DataGuard does not support a standard edition since we already know that Active DataGuard requires an Enterprise Edition extreme performance on the OCI. So database versions determines whether Active DataGuard is enabled. If you are using the bring your own licensing model, if your license does not include Active DataGuard, you must either use Enterprise Edition High Performance or set up DataGuard manually. So that's in those cases where you are doing a bring your own licensing. And to see how to do these setups manually, you can always take a look at the link using Oracle DataGuard with Database CLI. The another prerequisite is before database system must use and the same VCN and port 1521 must be open. So both database system has to be sharing the same virtual cloud network and the port 1521 should be open. Since we are discussing this configuration across different availability domain within one single region. So some of the networking requirements, you need to properly configure the security list, ingress as well as egress rules for the subnet of both database system in the DataGuard association, and that way it would be able to allow the TCP traffic to flow between the application ports. So you need to ensure that the rules you create are stateful, that is by default. For example, if subnet of primary DB system uses the source side at 10.0.0/24 and the subnet of a standby DB system uses the source side at 10.0.10/24, so the rules will look like which is there in the table. So egress rules in the example shows how to enable TCP traffic only for port 1521, which is minimum requirement for DataGuard to work. So if TCP traffic is already enabled on all of your outgoing ports, then you need not explicitly add the specific egress rules. Another thing is service gateway can provide the network connectivity which is needed to communicate with any of the OCI services. So the table shows a security list for primary DB systems subnet. So all the ingress rules as well as egress rules for production as well as the standby source. So this is how you are going to open that in OCI console. So DataGuard configuration is supported from the console, and the console allows you to enable a DataGuard association between databases. So change the role of a database in a DataGuard association using, you can use switchover or a failover operation, as well as you can reinstate a failed database. So when you enable a DataGuard, a separate DataGuard association is created for the primary as well as the standby database. And you can use console to perform most of the activities which are related to data guard operation. So to enable data guard on a bare metal system, to enable a data guard on a virtual machine DB system, to perform a database switchover, failover, or reinstate a database, as well as you can terminate a data guard association on a bare metal DB system, and you can terminate data guard association on virtual machine DB system. Another note here is data guard fast start failover as well as a cross region DR is manual as of today. So there are no cloud tooling allowing you to create a standby or a disaster recovery site across two different regions. So there you will have to depend on the manual way of creating it. You can use automation which is available with Enterprise Manager Cloud Control, or you can use DGMGRL for doing the same. So now we'll take a look at how to enable a data guard on bare metal DB system. So the steps are, you need to navigate under databases. You will be clicking on bare metal virtual machine and Exadata, and then you need to choose the compartment that contains the DB system with database for which you want to enable data guard. And after selecting the database system, you will click on the database that contains the database you want to assume the primary role, and then click the name of the database. So you would be able to see resources tab, and under resources you will have data guard association. So you need to click on enable data guard, and that will open up a dialog box where you configure the data guard association. So few of the information it will ask for bare metal is peer database availability domain. So this shows the availability domain of selected peer DB system. So you need to select the AD and fault domains based on the requirement, and keep that in mind that you have already created the peer database in order to associate in a bare metal DB system data guard association. So peer DB system is select the DB system that will contain the PRO standby database. The protection mode is by default it is going to be maximum performance, and transport type is going to be async. So async is the default which is supported from the console, and that is used for redo transport. These settings can be changed once data guard association is successful. You would be able to modify it through DGMGRL. Database admin password is in primary database admin password. The same password is used for the standby database. So keep in mind that you need to have the admin password or sysdba password for your primary database in order to get it in the standby database. So you need to confirm the database admin password, means just re-enter that and click on the enable button. So when the association is created, there will be a shield icon which will appear next to the database of the database and its peer, and their respective roles will be displayed in the console. So peer database should exist before you try creating data guard association. Now we'll talk about how to enable data guard on a VM database system. So one difference is you don't have to create the peer database for virtual database data guard deployment. So you need to open the navigation menu under database, bare metal, VM, and Exadata. So this is the place where you can do all of the activity in terms of provisioning or starting, stopping, or controlling all the databases. So select your compartment and select the database system that contains database you want to assume the primary role, and you need to select the database. Under resources, you will see again a data guard association. You need to click on enable data guard, and in the enable data guard dialog box, configure your data guard association. So some of the information it will ask you, since it is going to basically provision a new DB system on a virtual machine as well as database related details. So it will ask you the display name for your database system, the availability domain in which the database system resides, the VCN information, client subnet, the subnet to which the DB system should attach. So do not use a subnet that overlap with 192.168.16.16/28 because that is used by the cluster where private interconnect on database system. So you need to provide a host name prefix, and the host name must be unique within the subnet. So keep that in mind. Host domain name as well as host and domain URL, that is FQDN of the host. The protection mode is going to be maximum performance. Transport type is going to be asynchronous, and you need to pass the admin password. So that is the primary database admin password. The same thing will be used for your standby database. And finally, you are going to click on enable. So once it will complete, there will be a shield icon that will appear next to the database, and their respective roles will be displayed. So we have seen how to do the setup through OCI console. Now we'll talk about different operations which are supported by DataGuard configuration. So switchover operations, it can be done from the primary database. So you can initiate a switchover operation by using DataGuard association or primary database. For doing this, you need to navigate to databases, click on bare metal VM and Exadata. You need to select the compartment, and under compartment you will see select the database system for which you want to do the switchover activity, and under resources you would be able to locate DataGuard association. So for DataGuard association on which you want to perform a switchover, you need to click the action icon, 3 dots, and then click on the switchover. So in switchover database dialog box, enter the database admin password and then click OK. So database should now assume the role of a standby, and the standby should assume the role of primary database, and that will be reflected on the OCI console. In order to do failover operation within DataGuard configuration, again we are under DataGuard association tab under resources, and you will select operation as failover, and failover dialog box will come. You need to provide the admin password and click OK. So database should now assume the role of primary, as well as old primary roles should display as disabled standby, because the state is not known, and that is a candidate for re-instantiation. Then the other activity, reinstate of database in DataGuard configuration. So after we fail over a primary database to its standby, standby assumes the primary role, and the old primary is identified as a disabled standby. So after you correct the cause of failure, you can reinstate the failed database as a functioning standby for the current primary by using its DataGuard association. So before you can reinstate a version 12.2 database, you must perform some additional steps, like you need to basically stop the database or start it in mount mode. So for doing that, you will set your Oracle unique name environment variable to value of the database unique name, as it will be displayed in the console, and then you will be using srvctl commands like stop database -d db unique name -o abort, and then you would be able to mount that database on the failed db node. So open the navigation menu. After doing these steps, you will open the navigation menu, go to again bare metal VM and Exadata. You will select the compartment, go to DataGuard association, and then there you will see an option to use reinstate. So in the reinstate database dialog, enter the database admin password, and you need to click OK. So providing admin password is common across all of these activities, like switchover, failover, as well as reinstate. And database should be able to reinstate as the standby in the DataGuard association. So we've seen how to reinstate. Another option which is provided through console is terminating a DataGuard association, and that is again applicable to both VMDB as well as bare metal database system. So on a bare metal DB system, you remove a DataGuard association by terminating the standby database. For that one, you will have to go to your bare metal VM and Exadata tab and select the compartment and select the database system, and then you'd be able to see a terminate option in the 3 dots on the right side. And once you will click on terminate database, you will have to provide the name of the database which you want to terminate, and then click on OK. So it is just to make sure by mistake you are not terminating any other critical database. So on a virtual machine DB system, you remove a DataGuard association by terminating the standby DB system, and steps are same, like you will log in under bare metal VM and Exadata, select the compartment and select the DB system and click on the terminate from the action icon. So when it is, it will ask you to confirm, and then it will show you that database system is terminating. So we talked about different options which are supported, like switchover, failover, and we'll see how they look like in the OCI console. So switchover, as we said, it's a role reversal between your primary database and one of its standby database, and switchover guarantees no data loss. So this is typically done for planned maintenance of primary system, and during a switchover, the primary database transitions to a standby role and the standby database transition to the primary role. So transition occurs without having to re-enable either of the databases. So this is the screen. When you click on switchover database, it will ask you to provide the admin password, and it would be able to do the role reversal. On the other hand, failover is when the primary database fails and one of the standby database is transitioned to take over primary role. So failover is performed only in the event of the kind of failure which cannot be corrected. So primary database is no more there, and quickly you want to operate from the standby side. So there is no possibility of recovering from the primary database in a timely manner, and that's when we do the failover. So failover may or may not result in data loss depending on the protection mode in effect at the time of the failover, and this operation is supported from the standby database. So you will go to a standby database and click on failover database. Again, provide the admin password, and you'll be able to failover. For the reinstate, it allows customer to reinstate a failed primary database as a standby database after repair, and provide the admin password in the tab, and you'd be able to perform the activity. Terminating a database or DB system in DataGuard, so you need to explicitly remove DataGuard association by deleting the standby database before the primary database or the DB system can be terminated. So when you go to terminate database, it will prompt you to provide the, like you have already done with the steps which is required. So you cannot terminate a primary database if a DataGuard association with a peer database is existing. So please delete the peer database first, and alternatively you can perform a switchover to the peer database and then terminate the primary database. So that's how you terminate the database, and you can terminate the DB system because and before doing, you have to make sure that databases are deleted within the DataGuard association. So to remove the DataGuard association, terminate the standby database. So here we have covered the various activities which are can be done on bare metal or VM systems. The similar things are available for Exadata cloud service as well. And now we are going to take a look at part 2, where we will be discussing about some of the demo, the screens captured from an actual environment. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the part 2.